Welcome back to part 2 of my new setup, and today I'll be going over briefly what we'll be starting tomorrow because we're just waiting for the clamps to arrive. Over here we have the 27mm pine that we will be using. There was a bit of off cut at the top here and we just took that away and we used it for a different part of the desk or a different project entirely. I don't remember what part is where right now. I think that there might be a shelf. It's quite a deep one. I think it's like 60 centimeters deep. I don't remember how wide it is, but I know that's the depth of it. So yeah, it's going to be coming along. We also have some of the tools we'll be using as well. So this is only a small part of the desk. The rest of it is in the shed, and it's not part of it. Obviously, this is a small part of the desk, but the desk in general will be replacing that sad state over there. Take on further inspection that the drawers always kind of like pop out a little bit, but I don't think it's sloped because this one doesn't do that, but yeah, this one just kind of pops out a lot. This desk is also chipboard. It's not proper like, you know, full hard wood. It's just lots of like pieces of I don't remember what it's called, but it's all glued together really, and to make it like have some integrity, some strength, but it's nothing special. It's cheap and it just does the job for the meantime. I also had to replace this keyboard because when cleaning the keyboard, I mean it's not on right now so I can do this, but when taking the back off as well, that this wire here kind of wrapped in, and there's a piece of metal that was, what's the word I'm looking for, it was like serrated, like you felt like you could cut yourself on it, and the wires that are supposed to come here go around and avoid that piece of metal so they don't overlap on it and come back in and like cut themselves on it when I'm pressing down on the keys and the keyboard. The wires themselves were coming in and they're wrapping around and then getting cut on that piece of metal, so some of them were cut and started oxidizing, so we had to put some tape, and it works now, but before it was having these sort of like weird fits where I'd press like the R key or something and then the entire computer would like go QTY and then it would shut down. I was like, that's not supposed to happen. There's nothing on here that should tell the PC to turn off either. It doesn't have any of those functionalities, but due to the wiring being, you know, messed up, oxidized and everything else, it was causing issues with commands and it wasn't going through properly, and then it just turned the PC off, and then you take the USB out of the PC, put it back in, and a different key would turn the PC off, or it just wouldn't do anything, and it was just a mess. So yeah, that was a problem, and spent £100 on a better keyboard, because also this one has ghosting. Ghosting is where for example, you're playing a game like League of Legends, and you press EQ, and you do it really quickly. Only the Q ability will come into action, and it basically ghosts that E. And it can also occur when you do like 6 commands at once. You may ghost the previous commands and only do the end one or few commands that you press, because it just can't hold up to that responsiveness, and as it implies, it will ghost those commands. So anti-ghosting keyboards are really good for competitive gameplay or casual gameplay because it can be annoying regardless of what you're doing. Okay, it's not great lighting because it's a bit late now, but we ran into a bit of a problem because I've only just unpackaged the wood and it's all on the floor, but one of the shelvings snapped in more or less half, like it's just barely staying on together, and I'll show you, otherwise we would have started today. So there's my knees. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, as you can see, you just kind of a little bit of force on it, like, and a massive snap all the way through the middle. There you go, and it's on both sides. Only a little bit in the middle here is being held together, just a tiny bit of strength in between. That's what's being kept together by the wood itself. Other than that, it's pretty much snapped in half. There you go, see, all the way around. Not an ideal use of wood. Yeah, and this is just where the PC casing is going to go. Hopefully it fits on there. Yeah, so was gonna hopefully start today, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna start today. It's a bit of a delay. Unfortunately, it's snapped in pretty much half. Yeah, so it's a bit delay, but the motherboard's not here yet anyway, so we can't really finish the setup build anyways. But the desk is something I wanted to get done and out of the way this week primarily. Sent them the email, rang them up over the phone, sent them images. Hopefully, if they need any more information, they can contact me, and hopefully we can get it all sorted out and done and dusted really. But it's just like the cost, because the shipping as well is like £250 to £300 out of my own pocket. It just kind of felt like a big amount for a desk, to be honest. And it's like, I'm building it, first project. Like, it's a bit disheartening, a bit disappointing to find that when you're trying to do something for the first time. Like, I don't know how well it's going to do with me making it, but you know, having issues prior to me trying to make it isn't going to help me make the desk any better, if that makes sense. So hopefully tomorrow's a new day. We can get some drilling done and mark up a few things, because we have the rest of it here, and hopefully that's going to be good, and we can get most of what we need to be done out of the way tomorrow. So hopefully I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And obviously I can't film everything because I've got people helping me out a little bit, because I'm not going to do this by myself and mess it up entirely. But yeah, they would only be on camera, so when you're going to show pieces of the build, like of the desk build, but the PC build, I'm doing that all by myself, so I can show that thoroughly and hopefully have no issues there. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. So yesterday we just did a lot of drilling for the shelves, and there was one of the shelves that was more or less snapped in half. And what we decided to, because when I rang them up, they said to send them an email about a replacement or see what they can do. And it's been like, I think, nearly a working week, so like 5 days or so, and they haven't gone back to me or anything. So what I'm gonna do, what we did, sorry, was we kind of like broke it. We increased the snap so we can apply some wood glue, and then hopefully that's now set today, and then I can drill some holes for the dowels to go in, and hopefully that's set and that's fine. So yeah, that's really what's going to be happening today. And also we're going to be drilling into the legs to go to the top. So the 4 legs we want to start drilling today, and then that's going to be probably all of today's drilling. So the snap was in between about, I think, there or something. Yeah, the glue goes transparent, so it's hard to see at this point in time, especially without my glasses on. I need to clean them before I put them on. But what we did was we snapped it a bit more so the glue could run all the way through, and then we just kind of put the clamps on either side, and then this is just to prevent this metal from making marks on the wood, like potentially damaging the wood, because the pressure from each end would mark the wood. So it just makes it like more presentable. That's what it's going to do. Like, it doesn't really affect too much of it, but it makes it look aesthetically pleasing, so there's no visual marks or lack of. And then this is to make sure that, because the clamps are on either side, applying pressure, it doesn't go up at all. So this is just going to hold it down and make sure it's perfectly flat, because I think without the weights it was kind of like a little bit above where it should be. It wasn't as flat as it could be, so we just applied some weight to it. But yeah, so we're going to drill into this one today after checking how good it is durability wise, and then we get in to move on to the legs, which are currently the wrong way round. That's the we want it to stand up the other way, not the way it is right now, because that's just not tall enough, and it's too deep as well. So yeah, I think that's currently like 60, but we want it done by 70. So yeah, and then also we're going to use this offcut as a bit of like backing for the PC housing unit to add stability to that. And all those 4 pieces of shelving are done, and that is the tabletop. So yeah, let's get on with some more drilling. You can see in the sunlight the glue a little better. It's just right there, that bit, that strip. It's been a few days since I gave you the last update on the desk build, because it was just kind of assembling the pieces together. That's really what I've been doing over the past 3 days. So there wasn't really a whole lot going on, and because like it takes up so much room, I couldn't find a place to put the recording, put the camera, mount it somewhere and record it. So there's just a lack of room. I couldn't record any of that, but I'll show you guys where we're at now and what's really happening today. I have the weights on the desk because that's going to give us a nice sort of pressure, and it's going to make sure it sets more or less properly. So on the far right and far left legs, they have set properly, and there's no sort of issues where the dowels are like resting down pretty much on the wood. But the issue is here, there's, like you can see, there's quite a bit of gap, and you can probably see like a bit of doweling. So what we're going to do is we're going to hot glue from here to the other side and on that side as well, and do the same thing here and here. And after that we're going to put like 2 planks of like pine at the back, so one strip going about here, another strip going about there, just give it the back support. So don't get me wrong, it's really strong. This is pine. To get this properly set, I jumped on it. Me and my dad were both on here, just jumping on the desk, and it just wouldn't go down. So it shows it's strong enough as it is, but it just gives it more support at the back. And also I'm going to start waxing the PC housing base area and this top area, and if I run out of wax, that'll be fine. I don't need to wax the shelves, but I want to get them done as well. So that's where we're currently at. We should probably get this finished today, but yeah, the weights are there to make sure that there's no sort of like uplift in the desk at all, and it kind of like sets properly, or as much as we can. Like, we didn't have the proper tools, to be honest, so that's as good as we're going to get it. And this is so much better than that. Like, I sat here yesterday just with my chair. Like, I brought my chair, sat here, and it's like, it's got good length to it, it's got nice depth to it, it's actually taller by like an inch, so it just feels more natural to sit here, even though this is slightly raised because it's on a carpet and it's all kind of scrunched up a bit, or like a cloth piece, just to prevent like wood shavings falling everywhere and glue getting on the carpet. And cleaning that up like every day. Like, I vacuum clean more or less every day since I've been doing this as well, like, so I wouldn't get out of bed and just walk on the floor and get splinters in my feet. You know, the cleanup takes about 10 minutes as well, so just to, yeah, it's been a rough 2 weeks trying to get this done. The full setup, I don't think I'll be done because the motherboard, I don't know about the motherboard. Whenever it's coming, it's coming. Like, they've given me a day to change it, bring it back, change it, bring it back. So I can't really use my old PC still, but I kind of want to like take the PC case from a wardrobe, put it in there, and just see how it looks. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I put it on there and it does fit down there. This is 70 centimeters in height and that's 60 in depth, so and the width of that is about 30, so many PC casings will fit in here. I also drilled out a few holes here and sanded these down to increase airflow, so those holes are around here because the PC case has fans on the side around here, so the intake would be there, and it's got a PSU fan at the back of it around there, and in between it's just like a gap regardless on the case. So this is nice and symmetrical, looks quite nice, and it's got increased airflow. I did a bigger hole at the bottom, cooler air from the BIOS, and lots of smaller holes just for that extra airflow. It does have room inside, but this just increases it, and it's just gonna be good overall. I'm gonna leave the back completely open, apart from that little stopper, which just increases the amount of, you know, stability in the desk. And I'm gonna put a few stoppers at the back of the shelves as well, just to prevent anything from falling out the back. I'm gonna leave this completely free, the front, but the back's gonna have stoppers. I also need to, because there's glue dripping down in some of these areas, I think I need to like go over it and then kind of just peel those pieces of glue off, because they're just going to make it look a bit worse. And then we're going to run hot glue, like I said earlier, along there. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. because that's just where we are right now, and probably after today we'll be 100% done, and then I don't know if we'll leave it to set either overnight, and then I'll put that there tomorrow. I'll just see where things go right now. Alright, so what I've just done so far is I've just put the backings on the shelf so far. I had to sand them down. I think I've just showed you guys just part of the sanding I was doing. Just put some of the wood glue on, clamp down the shelving at the back for the shelves, and then we're going to start waxing the top and the PC housing shelf. And then after that we're going to probably wait about an hour and a half for the glue to dry on the shelving, then start waxing those shelves. But I need to clean the surface of the tabletop because it's a bit dirty here and there. So right now, just a bit more of a... So I've got them all clamped as as clamped as I can have. I've only got 2 clamps here, but there's also not enough room at the bottom here. So I've just put some weights on top of it, like I was doing earlier for this tabletop, and then we're just gonna make sure that sets for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm gonna clear that up. That's the glue I was using. Gonna wax the tabletop and make sure that's all clean, and then I'm gonna wax the PC housing unit, which is over there. Also gonna wax the sides as well, just prevent anything, you know, just in case. But yeah, the sides doesn't need doing as much as the top and the shelves do, but I'll get the sides done if I can have enough like wax on me, but if not, then I'll leave them where they are, to be honest. I don't really need to wax this side because that's the side that's going to go like here, that's going to be facing the door. The other side's just going to be over there in the corner, so it's not as important, but still pretty good to get them both done. And probably tomorrow this should all be finished, and then I can start using it. But yeah, then after this is all done, we can start putting the back support in, which is going to go around here, and the other one's around here. There we go. You got the little holes cut out for the dowels, and we're going to use those 2 strips of wood. I'm going to put them in the back. I'm going to clean them up a bit because they've got these white markings and rubbish all over them, so we just sand those down before using. So yeah, let's get to waxing then. Okay, so it's currently actually the next day. I was gonna probably do it yesterday, but the issue is when I put the backing on, I wanted that glue to really set, and this wood glue kind of takes a little bit of time to actually set properly. I did use two types of glue in the end, like some hot glue for kind of filling in those gaps where it didn't set properly in the middle, and then just the regular glue to just kind of put everything together. But for like my first cable build ever, and it's been held together just by wood and glue, no metal, no nails, no screws at all. It turned out really well, I think, to be honest. It's a 2-week project, and first table I've ever built out of wood, and I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. So I just give you guys a brief look at what I did yesterday, and then after that we'll just transition to what it's gonna look like, what it looks like after, you know, I swap everything around to the new table, because it's done now pretty much. Okay, so yesterday we put these backing on, so you can see here there's 2 planks of wood just kind of running across the back of it, so that's reinforced the back. That's where the support was. Not sure I showed you, but that's the back stops for the shelves, so they will have stops now on all 3 shelves. Let's get down here, there we go. The clamps I only have 2 of, so I didn't have like all the right tools, or like not necessarily the right amount, so we only had 2 clamps, and we kind of needed like minimum 6 clamps, so we could have like hold 1 in place in this end, then we can have like, you know, like we needed 4 minimum for this sort of like back piece. So luckily that the top one stayed in place quite well, so that was good. But then we really needed like 6 of these, or 8 of them, to be honest. So we were kind of short on tools, didn't have the right tools either. I did cut myself in various places when I was waxing. This is really sharp, and I might sand this down by the end of today, or I might just leave it, but I already cut myself once or twice actually sanding the thing. I was sanding the shelves and I cut myself there when I like put my arm in, and then I think I cut myself like here, just like, I don't know, just getting out of the shelves. So it's quite a sharp desk, so I might sand this down actually. Yeah, but no, like all in all it wasn't bad. I used the hot glue, as you can see here. It was a lot worse, and I had to like kind of file it off a bit to make it a bit more flush. I'd used a bit of hot glue here as well. It was a lot worse because it was kind of like bubbling out everywhere. And I also used the hot glue inside here, so where the gaps was, it's now nice and flush looking, and there's no sort of like massive gap. You can see, you can't see the dowels unless you like go to this sort of side, and you can see a gap here, but it was so bad here that I had to like hot glue it from like this end to that end, and the same for there. And then it took me a while to like chisel it away, all those little like droplets that were kind of coming down, so it looks a lot nicer, it looks more flush with the wood, and it doesn't like kind of like have an eyesore. I didn't particularly like the 2 planks. I would have preferred something like straight at the back, but we didn't have any piece of wood, so we just had to kind of improvise. That is still pine, but this is just thicker pine, and it's kind of newer as well, where that's old and been used. And you can see the sanding marks, so we did sand it in the end, so that was nice. It just took a lot of time to just kind of like get the finer things done, really. And yeah, it's been waxed down there as well. Also waxed the other side, as you can see, different sort of coloration. It does kind of tint the wood slightly, the wax, but I think it looks nicer to us when it's tinted as well. It kind of just has more of a nicer feel to it as this sort of darker color than it did when it was all looking kind of a bit anemic looking, to be honest. that's just like a preference on what you want the wood to look like. So yeah, overall it's pretty good, and I just gotta put this over here now, which take a time. I'm gonna pretty clean the mouse pad and then wait for that to dry and then put a few things back on, but majority can go transferred over to here. But yeah, that's for the backing that we was using that glue over there. It takes a while to set properly, so yeah. And I think the hot glue I just used, what's it called? I used this, whatever, if I can see it. It's called Wix General Purpose Hot Melt Glue Sticks. It's kind of hard to see when it's dark like that. But yeah, that's what I use. I use at least 5 of these. At least I think I used at least like 2.5 for here, or maybe like 3, and then use like 1 at the back, or maybe 1 a bit at the back, and there's still like kind of like a full one left inside the glue gun. So yeah, it took a while, took a bit of glue, took a bit of like effort, but I'd say overall it was worth the effort. 2 weeks, not bad for a first project, like first table project. I've done other projects before that took a bit longer, but they weren't like specific to a setup, so you know, I dug up my back garden. That took longer, let me tell you. But hopefully that's gonna look a lot nicer. So I'll catch you guys in a minute. Just got done building the desk, and it's actually on my left, and I'm excited to show you guys, to be honest. It was two weeks and a bit of work, but yeah, it's finally done, and it's like so much nicer. I know there's all the clutter that was like over there and on the floor is now gone. So yeah, I'm just kind of a bit tired. I just got done kind of vacuum cleaning the entire area where all the debris was for the wood shavings, and putting away everything and cleaning up. So that took about a few hours, to be honest. So yeah, let's give you guys a quick look at the aftermath. So that's just the lens cap right there, but everything's cleaned, vacuum cleaned thoroughly, and I'll show you guys the desk. So the old desk is still actually here because there's nowhere to put it right now, so it's just kind of sitting, the drawer section is kind of sitting there, but we got the shelving unit, it's all looking quite nice. I didn't actually thingy it in the end, which would be you know, sand it down on the corners, because it's got enough room. I won't hit my leg on it, I won't hit myself on it. The actual keyboard sits in the middle now, and from where I sit is here now. It's a nice layout. Before it was like monitor was there cutting off the pad, and it's on the other side, and it was kind of really close together. You got a little rainbow effect of both monitors. It's like so much nicer. Actually feels like I can actually do what I want to do, and before it's kind of claustrophobic, very small. This is about 30 centimeters, I think, wider, and it's almost 20 centimeters in depth bigger as well. So, and it's slightly taller as well by an inch as a plane. We're in an airport, so if you pick up the plane on the mic, sorry about that. But yeah, it's looking good. We got the RGB. I don't think I mentioned the keyboard. Did I mention the new keyboard that came at one point? Well, if I didn't, this is the new keyboard that came a few days ago, £100 for the HyperX Alloy Origins keyboard. I think they're all like red switches. I think that's the good, the RGB's on, but you can pretty tell that the red switches, which are apparently supposed to be the best ones. I don't know too much about keyboards, I know enough. And it's got anti-ghosting on as well. We have the newer mouse from SteelSeries. So these like grip pads are kind of crap, so I'd probably want to like later down the line look for a better mouse than this. The HyperX keyboard is working out really well. It's just got used to the RGB, and then it's fine. The monitor here, I'll get another one of these. So this is like part 2 of the setup upgrade. I'm gonna get a 4K one of these, and a new one of these will be over there. It's just because they're out of stock right now. You know, they're kind of like one of the best monitors on the market, and when we can, we will, whenever the motherboard comes, we were replacing this entire system. And also when I get the RTX 3080, I will also put that in the new one. So I'll take the 1060 out of here and put it in the new system. It will bottleneck it slightly, but it's always better than this because this is the CPU in here is like Core i5 7th gen, and what I have is the Ryzen 9 5950X, so it's like far superior in comparison to this, which is almost 5 years old now. I did some cable management at the back here. I've tried a little bit around the side, so that's roughly done. I will need to extend this slightly because the Ethernet is kind of stretched. It used to run like kind of around, and now it's kind of runs straight diagonally to the back where the Ethernet port is, so a bit of a problem. But yeah, it's got a lot of room, and the other case will fill up this entire area. Probably come up to about here though. The other case is wider, bigger, and it's got more depth to it as well. So the other case will fill up most of this actually, which is going to be good. But yeah, it just means that it's no longer having any issues. It is raised slightly. Now you can probably see it's on legs kinda, but it was, you know, on carpet, which is not good at all. I did clean it up outside and inside before I put it in here, so it's going to be more efficient in taking the air. So yeah, I also cleaned the back of this up as well, and the side panel, which is I think acrylic and not glass, so it scratches easily. But yeah, we got the back reinforcement support, and we got that glue that I put in as well, just to make sure it was just reinforced, because there was, you know, that gap that's here. So yeah, overall it looks pretty good, and I think it's pretty clean looking, and from this sort of angle I think it looks alright. I think we're going to stay with the Rode mic for now, but I think there's I think it's the brand Shure or something we might upgrade to later down the line, but they're quite expensive, and this was like half the cost. That's it really. So it took 2 weeks, and it took you about I don't know how long this video is going to be, like probably nearly an hour long, to show you guys the process and how long and everything took. But really, I'm just glad it's done and kind of a bit tired. I'm going to make some lunch after this. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I did enjoy making it, but it was such a long process. Cut myself a few times, waxing it as well. Got a bit dirty here and there, but you know, that's how you make things really. If you don't get dirty, I don't think you've made anything, to be honest. Yeah, it would mean a lot if you guys could subscribe and like the video, and leave a comment down below to maybe what to do next as a project maybe, or what you'd like to see on this channel, because during the pandemic it's kind of hard for me to release content, and it would be nice to get some suggestions and what I could potentially do, and I'll like sift through all the comments and see what looks good, because I mean, I'm upgrading this quite nicely, but if you have any comments that I could improve upon, cable management might be a good one, because that's kind of a bit here and there, but I did try and fix it. But that's going to be it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.